I always had a problem. I played over 100 different games but only finished at best 5 of them. And don't get me wrong, I was playing the games that everybody loved, but they weren't enough for me. Some I dropped almost immediately, and some, for example, The Witcher 3, I played 5 different times and never got further than 15 hours. But I think I have found a new, better way to game. You all have definitely seen videos on YouTube where professional players create some challenges because they're just bored to play their games the usual way. So I thought maybe if usually even the new games are boring for me, why not immediately start with a challenge to make it more interesting? Now, I'll explain everything on the go. When I came up with the idea, I decided to immediately test it in 2 different games, which I made videos about. First game was Pokémon FireRed and the second was Spire 2, which I have never played before, and also I didn't really even play similar games before. But while I was testing, even at the very beginning, I felt a huge difference. When you don't know what to expect and more than usual is on the line, the gaming experience feels much more important and immersive. Alright. I will not complete this game. Whoa. Probably now you have a question, but Nick, how do I know what challenge to give myself if I've never played the game? If the game wasn't just released and there are some videos on YouTube, I suggest you searching for an already existing challenge. It's also very interesting to watch these videos after you've already completed your game, to see all the differences. But if the game is not popular or was just released so there are no videos on YouTube, it's a very good thing to have a trustworthy friend who actually completed the game or to post on Reddit. Also, sometimes AI gives good ideas, but that's very rare. And also be very careful with spoilers. Now, with all that information, you probably still wonder if you should try it out or it will be a total waste of time. So let me quickly tell you about my most recent experience so you can decide yourself. Just a few weeks ago, I made a video about Spire 2, and even though the game is about building your deck of cards so you can balance attack and defense to successfully defeat your enemies, I decided to immediately play without any defense cards. And I got this idea from YouTube's AI, and that's when the fun begins, because when I started playing, I didn't even know what the game is about, let alone if it's even possible to complete without any defense. So I was a bit nervous, but it only heightened the emotions I felt from the game. And quickly, as I was learning the mechanics of the game, my nerves actually turned into being thrilled. I was discovering new cards, combos, enemies, mechanics, and at the same time my strategies needed to be much more complex than what usually players do. But be careful, because if the challenge would have been impossible, I would have had a much worse experience. I wouldn't have discovered so much new stuff and probably just would have died a lot of times, so try to find a challenge that is actually doable. And because this challenge was pretty well balanced, I was just progressing but with additional fun. But then I lost just because I forgot to use potions, but usually when you lose you feel some negative emotions. But just because I knew that I'm playing a much harder version of the game, I didn't even think to blame myself, it just was fun. Oh. And after my first defeat and realizing that the challenge is actually possible, I locked in. I was making much more complex strategies and every win actually felt much more important and thrilling than if I played the usual way. And then I was gonna fight a boss again and I panicked. Alright, I don't know who the fuck is that. I didn't know we have different bosses. Of course we have different bosses. Because it's a good game, so it will have different bosses. I do not know why I thought that we don't. And let me clarify, it was a good panic, it was very fun. And even though I still forgot to use my potions until the end of the boss fight, I won. Ooh, that was sexy. Alright, that is very sexy. That is so sexy. Oh my god. When I told you about the problem I have with games, I said that I finished at best 5 of them. And now that I can compare the games that I actually liked enough to finish them with my new playthroughs, the difference is huge. It's like eating a very tasty burger after a not so tasty plain bowl of rice. And also, in none of the playthroughs I had before, I reacted like that to a new card. Oh my god, my brain is braining because of how interesting combos in this game can be. Wow. And like that after defeating a second boss. Just look at that sexiness. Oh my god. Ooh. I don't know. I feel this game is very good. Nah, this game is awesome. Wow. I feel so stoked. And then, of course, after some amazing gameplay, I was able to finish the game. What have I built? What have I built? What is that? It's a monster. It felt amazing. Think for yourself if it's a new, better way to play or something weird. And if you want to see more gameplay that I talked about, click on this video. And bye-bye.